James Oglethorpe, that was unconventional warfare. That's what it was. We were engaging in warfare against the 13 colonies and beating the living shit out of the British. Oh, well, not the British, the colonists, Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. We were getting with the Native Americans and beating their ass. And they reached back to, they meaning the ownership class of the 13 colonies, reached back to England and said, Mama, help. Specifically, it was Benjamin Franklin. We misread Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was an elite. He was a baron. Um, Dr. Howard Zinn calls him a robber baron. But I digress. They reached, Benjamin Franklin wrote home to Mama, please help us. These Negroes and these Indians are whooping our ass. And if they don't stop, we're going to lose the colonies. Benjamin Franklin wrote that letter, join or die. It had a snake with 13 pieces, 13 colonies, all like a snake. That means something. Somebody missed it. Could it be secret societies? I'm going to leave it alone. I digress. Anyway, Captain James Oglethorpe sent over debtors, degenerates, pedophiles, not my words, words of academic canon, to form the Georgia Corporation, where my big old butt is sitting. I'm sitting in Georgia, which was founded to, create a buffer class against Negroes and Native Americans. But my point is, for I ramble on, is immigration was considered a unconventional warfare, just like special forces. They were sent. They were initially sent over here. Now, am I saying every immigrant is warfare? No, not saying that at all. There are lovely, additions to America that are immigrant class, but I'm identifying certain periods and ways of immigration as warfare towards foundational Black Americans. What are your thoughts on this, Cash Gaines?
Yeah, I got plenty to say about remittances. I put the article in the chat as well. There's let me just mention one point, but hopefully y'all can keep coming back around to me. I'll read some of this article. It mentions, this article is all about how $150 billion annually is lost from the U.S. due to remittances. They had also mentioned that in 1 year, Indian Americans alone sent $65 billion back to their homeland. Some would argue to assist with third world conditions, but I would argue that those dollars are sent clean over a Flint, Michigan, over a Cancer Alley, over third world conditions that Black Americans are surviving. So I consider it pillaging. Let me see. In the article, let me just read one small part that I thought was kind of interesting, because they talk in this article about how it impacts the U.S. economy both domestically and internationally. It says that according to 2017 data gathered by the Census Bureau, the median income for a household headed by someone born in the U.S. is $61,987. On the other hand, households headed by someone born outside the U.S. earn approximately $57,000. That may seem like a small difference. However, according to the Center for Immigration Studies, 63% of non-citizen households access welfare programs compared to 35% of native households. That means immigrants are more likely to consume public services, but due to lower incomes, pay a smaller share of the cost for those services. That problem is compounded by the fact that many immigrants send a significant percentage of their lower salaries abroad. According to the Center for Latin American Monetary Studies, Central American and South American immigrants send anywhere between 17% to 30% of their lower wages abroad. That income is removed from the U.S. economy. Therefore, it no longer generates any tax revenue that can be used to pay for public services like the ones they're accessing. Thank you for letting me read that, Professor.
Crazy. That is wild. 63%. I had no clue. That's crazy to me.
Where'd you read that off of, Mr. Gaines? Can you tell me where you got that from or send it to me?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's in the chat, and I could pin it up above as well. It's fairus.org.
That is wild.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on it, Wani? Are remittances anti-American?
Yes, they are. And just like Cash was saying, they keep trying to tell us that, oh, no, they're just helping their families and blah, blah, blah. But they're really here taking jobs and usurping money and jobs and sending it back over to their country. The money is not circulating here. what's the point of you being a citizen if you're just milking the system? It's really just awful.
Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting because, and we're not being xenophobic. We're looking at certain groups that have um, taken over industry, such as Eastern Indians have taken over the engineering industry in Memphis. I lived in a neighborhood uh, right across from FedEx, where it was full of Eastern Indian engineers. And I befriended one of them, and they were sending all kinds of money back home to India um, to, support their families and stuff, which, I can't, to some degree, I can't blame them. I'm not angry towards them. I'm angry towards politicians for letting this happen because the economy, I mean, have y'all looked at the price of eggs? The economy, we're dealing with inflation that could easily turn into hyperinflation. So, given the fact we're dealing with inflation, why are we allowing people to send money to other countries? Some countries that are receiving remittances are hostile towards the United States. Tell me, how does that work? Why does it?
Well, I feel hostile toward the immigrant and the policy because
Mhm.
you know that you're being a leech and a parasite and you're not trying to assimilate. You don't want to be American. I don't think you should go somewhere where you don't even like the culture at all. It doesn't benefit anyone. It doesn't benefit them. They walk around in a perpetual funk and with a little brooding anger attitude, like over in with the Arabs in Europe. They just sulking all over the place and then making these bold statements about how they're going to impose Sharia law. I don't think you should go to countries that you hate, work there, and then send money back. I mean, they should go against their belief systems, but it doesn't because they're deep down, their number one goal is to be a parasite.
Isn't that like cheating? Isn't that like welfare fraud?
Oh, yeah, they're
Isn't
all
that
on
like
the
some type of
welfare.
federal crime?
They actually give them jobs on the welfare. They just stock these whole systems with those specific races of people that live in places, whether it's Minnesota and the Somalis, and of course they cheat, don't want the Americans to get any services, give services to themselves that they don't belong, that they shouldn't have, and they get caught in scandals all the time. So they're very, very deceptive. Now, one place that I know that it was all stocked with Chinese people, and they were doing claims for the United States Post Office. So whenever you had a lost package, you had to deal with them. And guess what? They didn't speak English. And guess what? You never got any response to your claim. They had the whole office stocked with illiterate Chinese people that refused to process people's claims. I used to do e-commerce, so I knew all the claims processes. This was, an issue where you'd have to call, ask to speak to a supervisor, get an American on the phone, and then they would tell you, oh no, they didn't even process it. Oh no, they didn't do this. They have been stocking these offices with these types of people, giving us the blues. We can't even speak in our language on the phone to customer service. These are creature comforts that we shouldn't have to fight for. They're just little basic things in life that start to accumulate, and you begin to get very angry over time. Hey, Miss T.
What's on your mind, Miss T? It's good to see you.
Hey, hey, what's up? Shout out to the beautiful co hostesses
Oh yeah.
and the handsome host and the rest of the family in the room. Hey, y'all, this is a great, great topic. Uh, I came in a little late. I came in with Cash when Cash was speaking, so I hope I'm not repeating anything. But part of the reason why these countries do not want their migrants coming back home is because of the amount of money these countries make in remittances, right? In 2023, Mexico got $63 billion. And it was like up from in 2021, they got 50 billion, right? Colombia got $10 billion. This is just in remittances, and this is in 2023, not 2024 when we had this great influx of immigrants over here. I don't know how many billions these countries got, right? And some of these countries are enemies of ours. And they're
Right.
having all of this money flooded back into their countries where they can build weapons of mass destruction. Because one of the things that Trump kept saying was certain things never would have happened because when he was in office, these countries were broke. They had no money, right? And so they weren't able to build and go to wars and things like that. I think Iran was one of those. But just think, y'all, if we use those remittances and we tax them, and that tax on the remittances that go out of this country were to fund a reparations trust for the Black Americans. Do you know how much money that would be? And we could put a high tax on it, but right now there's not a tax on remittances. Why not? Because that's a lot of money leaving our country and it's funding our enemies. And I just wanted to put that information out there. I'm gonna share it in the purple pill. But again, thank you for waking this up about this remittance thing.
Yes, that's so interesting, Miss T. We could fund reparations by taxing remittances, which shouldn't happen in the first damn place.
Why don't
Wow.
we ban them?
Yeah, and just just ban them.
Ban them. No, you cannot send nothing nowhere.
I'm for it. Shit.
Spend your money here or get out. See how easy it is for me to be the president?
You know what? It would be great if we could make them spend the money here. It would be awesome. It really
That would
would be.
really help the economy.
Spend your money here, get out. Damn.
But they would create some kind of mule to run this money back and forth between these countries.
Hmm. But we could ban that, and then of course people would figure a way to get some of it, but not
Not all of
not
it.
that big chunk, not those billions.
Wani for president. I see it. Just like make America great again, just like change. She'll say, spend your money here or get out. Oh my. Let's go to Rob the Whip. What's on your mind, bro?
Man, I was just listening to what you guys were saying, and it hit me like now would be the perfect time once Trump finishes doing what he's doing, stopping all this money from, like I said, US aid and all the other stuff, for us to make this reparations run, because it's already shown that there's billions of dollars that are floating around out there, and if they could come up with billions of dollars to give to these other countries, and I know it's money laundering for the CIA, however, if they got that much money to throw away, they can throw it at us. And there's no reason. So I'm trying to figure out right now how often the UN meets up.
Right.
And you and Tariq can go there and do what y'all do, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get the pom poms. I mean, and cheer y'all on. And we figure out how that shit works, man. We all get a matching pair of gold teethers. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And I land my plane.
I appreciate you. 7-4. Go ahead and drop the bomb on us. Educate us on what this is really about, sir.
No, you guys are pretty much saying the real thing. What I would say about remittances is I wouldn't focus too much on it. I would just try to get these people out of the country and don't let them come here in the first place. Uh, because the reason why I'm not too focused on remittance that much is because of just simply how the dollar system works is that the world is because the petrodollar, the world needs dollars to to buy oil and stuff like that. And so the money, so they're going to get the money one way or the other. So instead of just like I said, just stop them from coming over here in the first place. And about this immigration thing, yeah, it is a form of warfare. It's a form of genocide, and because they're trying to replace us. And when you bring in large groups of people to replace the native population, that's a form of genocide. And I think I've thought about this. I don't, even though I'm pessimistic that it would lead anywhere, I think we need to file a grievance before the UN Human Rights Commission because this is a form of genocide. With that, I yield my mic.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
it's definitely ethnocide because these groups come over here, they don't have a strong culture, and then they begin to say that they created hip hop and whatever else they can cling on to, and that they're Gullah Geechee, and that they're really the Louisiana Creoles, and they just start to, uh,
No,
you
no, I'm
know,
actually a
and
Louisiana Creole. Haitians are not.
I know you don't have to tell me. I already know. They're very desperate to connect themselves. Anything that they see as French, then they're going to say, "Oh, that's us. We're Creole too." So,
Well, y'all know how we do on our space. Today, I brought the receipts and we're going to analyze what the strategy is. I made the claim, I begged the question, is immigration non-conventional warfare? And I'm going to answer in the affirmative. Yes, it is. But it don't go to end the story. We're going to analyze. I'm going to break down the moving parts of how immigration is non-conventional warfare. To understand non-conventional warfare, we're going to go to the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. And we're going to flip to his section on special warfare, also known as dirty warfare, right? Immigrants and James Oglethorpe use Rule 27. We call this the alliance strategy. Again, it's called the alliance strategy. In short, this is how it works. You, in the alliance strategy, you seem to work for the interests of others while furthering your own, right? Robert Greene, keep wanting to call him Dr. Robert Greene, but Robert Greene says the best way to advance your cause is with the minimum effort and bloodshed is to create a constantly shifting network of alliances. Right? It's like the Africans coming over here saying they're our friend, right? You're me. What do they say, Wani? Um, we're the same, right? Uh,
mhm.
Green says getting others to compensate. Listen to this shit, y'all. Getting others to compensate for your deficiencies. Do your dirty work. Fight your wars. Spend energy pulling you forward. The art is in choosing the allies who fit the needs of the moment and fill the gaps in your power. Give them gifts. Offer them friendship. Help them in a time of need, all to blind them to reality and put them under subtle obligation to me. You hate Africa, right? At the same time, work to sow dissension in the alliances of others, weakening your enemies by isolating them while forming convenient coalitions. Keep yourself free of negative entanglements. That's what immigrants been doing. That's what some of these West Africans are doing to us right now, pretending like we got some type of mysterious alliance while in the background furthering their own interest. Coming to historically black colleges, talking about I'm you, we all the same nigga, to quote the great Tariq Nasheed. But in the flip side, getting that acceptance letter to medical school, and once they pass boards and pass the steps and become an MD or pass the bar or pass whatever praxis two and get their little piece of paper, no, I am not a nigga. I am Ghanaian. That's the way this game works. Again, seem to work for the interests of others. Let me rephrase that. Seem to work for the interests of FBAs while furthering the interest of Nigeria. That's Rule 27. Cash Gains, what's on your mind?
I was going to read a little bit more about how remittances impacts the American. Actually, this is about the impact on foreign economies. I'm just going to read the first paragraph that it says.
Come on.
It says many nations rely heavily on remittances. Let me say it again. Many nations rely heavily on remittances. In fact, remittances make up to 10% or more of the total GDP in approximately 35 countries. A few nations, such as Haiti, rely on foreign money to the point that remittances constitute more than 30% of their GDP.
Damn.
30%. The nations that heavily depend on remittances are almost exclusively developing countries with lagging economies. And so it goes on a bit further. And let me scroll up real quick because they set it up in a certain way that I thought was interesting too. It says, why do so many immigrants from developing countries send money home? Immigrants in the U.S. who send remitted funds to family, friends, or business associates in developing countries are playing the foreign exchange market. American dollars are generally worth significantly more than the local currency in developing countries. For example, in 2017 data, the average hourly wage in India was 61 rubles or 90 cents. That means a US based relative can provide an Indian citizen with 1 month's wages by remitting roughly $150 per month. A slightly larger remittance of $250 to $500 per month can support an extended Indian family in a comparatively luxurious style. So they're pillaging our country, is what I'm arguing, and using it to live luxurious in theirs.
Yeah.
Let me add one thing to it real quick. A lot of these people are placed here to do just that. Some of these businesses,
Facts.
they are placed here to sit there and make money and send parts of it back. They're funded, they're supported, and that's why they don't fail, because they have a country supporting them.
Yeah, I'm talking through a mute. That's unconventional warfare. Doctor, I'd say Doctor Green, but Robert Greene says the keys to the warfare of not of immigration is as follows: when you look for an ally, you have a need, an interest you want to meet. This is a practical strategy matter on which success depends. If you allow emotions and appearances to infect the kind of alliances you form, you are in danger. The art form of alliances depends on your ability to separate friendship from need. So these people are playing us, pretending like they're our friends, pretending like you're my brother, but coming over to get what they need, and having hidden alliances with our enemies. This stuff is deep. You know what I'm saying? Empress, you had something to say? Come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, beautiful professor and gorgeous Nikki. Glad to be a part with you guys. This is 100% on point. From every one of us who is born from 1966 through roughly about 1979, we all have encountered immigrants whose parents would work all types of American jobs and been sending home money. I went to school, high school, vocational, and even a bit of college, seeing many immigrants sending home thousands of dollars that when the parents decide they no longer wanted to stay in the U.S., when went back home, they were living in mansions. When they came out of real rugged shanty towns. So this is not nothing new. I'm just glad that now it's getting addressed and now it's being exposed in all aspects. And Wani made a good point. If you're not spending your money here, why are you here? Why not just go and just stay in your land? And I once asked this question to many doctors that are here within the Metro Detroit area. If you feel some kind of way towards the Black community, now that you have your degree, why don't you return back? And then the notion is, why should I, nigga? I done got everything else. I'm going to make sure all of my generations are covered. So it's the disrespect
that I have a problem with, and I think they should be heavily taxed. But in this year, as I've stated, Professor and Nikki, we're in the year of the snake. So everybody is shedding their skin, and now you're seeing how they really think. And that's what they're angry about. With this administration putting heavy tax on things that is rightfully so, it's needed. Professor, I would like to ask, what do you think about the president making it is being blocked with the tariffs because he didn't put in place with the post offices and other companies to place those tariffs. So now you still can send for your supplies if you're ordering through Amazon, Temu, and it's coming from China. I'd like to know what your thoughts is about that. And I'll land my plane.
Well, oh, I heard somebody else talking. My thoughts is it's just I think that we're being used. I want to give you all a very beautiful. Well, most FBAs are visual learners, so I want to give you a visual of how we're being used, and it comes from Robert Greene, Rule 27. I want y'all to really hear this one. Robert Greene says it's a common strategy in bicycle races not to go out front, but to stay right behind the leader, a position that cuts down wind resistance. The leader faces the wind for you and saves you energy. Stop right there. That's what these folks do. They let the FBA, don't y'all agree? They let FBAs go out front and take all the heat, get our ass beat, get shot up, um, get hit with hoses. The baby boomers get hit with hoses. They put pepper spray in them hoses, by the way. They don't tell you that. And they stay right behind us, right behind us. But look at what Robert Greene says. He says, at the last minute, you sprint ahead. Got your ass, FBA. Gotcha. I seen.
That's true.
I
I
seen.
agree.
I seen this shit at the historical black colleges. Just ride along, coast along. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. But working with the little African professors and stuff, and then when it's time to apply to medical school and stuff, oh, I'm the only one that got the grades. They sprinted ahead. And the FBA's having to transfer. I've seen so many of our fucking kids having to transfer out of the school of biochem and what I'm saying, out of school of biology because they didn't have the grades to go to medical school or nursing school. They got sprinted ahead by people who were just like in that bicycle race, riding right behind the leader. Letting the leader take all the wind and then sprinting ahead. What else does Robert Greene
That
say? Go ahead, Nikki.
that's no different than them being able to get loans for cars and loans for houses. That's them being sprinted ahead, just like what you said was happening to you when you couldn't get a loan.
Oh
It's no
hell yeah,
different than that.
yeah. But
I'm getting pissed off.
they rode right behind. They let us ride the wind to get the ability to get a loan. You know what I'm saying? And now when we get in the line to get a loan, they jump in front of it. That almost makes me Robert Greene's analogy, his metaphor makes me think of Ethiopia when the Ethiopians gave us land. You know what I'm saying? And the Jamaicans sprinted ahead and said, no, nigga, that's my land. Um, Robert Greene further says, um, okay, he says, sprint ahead, letting other people cut resistance for you and waste their energy on your behalf is the height of economy and strategy. Guys, never forget that. Let's not let people don't get out FBAs. Let me. I'm not gonna tell a grown person what to do, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm not gonna do no more. I'm not gonna step out front and take the win so somebody can ride my goddamn coattail. Robert Greene finally says one of the best strategies in the alliance game is to begin by seeming to help another person in some cause or fight. Don't that sound familiar, FBAs?
Yes.
We are all in the system of white supremacy. We all are there. um, only for the purpose of furthering your own interest in the end. It is easy to find such people. They have a glaring need, a temporary weakness that you can help them overcome. Now you have to put them under subtle obligation to you and to use as you will to dominate their affairs, to divert their energies in the direction you desire, like that Pan African shit. Go back to Africa, support Africa. The emotions you create with your offer to help will blind the other person to your ulterior purpose. I mean, say no more.
That was a wonderful book. I like what you said, Professor, because that hit my soul.
This what's been
When you
happening.
think about that, hit my soul. That I'm telling you, I'm feeling this spiritually. You allow us to be in the forefront, take all the abuse, the gunshots, the killing, and when you stay in the back and then reap the benefits and say, kiss off to their bottoms as they turn on us. But if you notice now, and this is how you know it's spiritual, they're whining because we're not doing that. We're breaking away from them.
Right.
And because we're breaking away on all four fronts, not just with the Black immigrants, the Africans, more so I'm seeing the hostility coming from that Hispanic community. They're really
Yes.
here in Detroit. Here in Detroit. They're printing in their own papers how they detest and how dare the Black community not say anything. As a matter of fact, the Arab community here in Michigan is highly pissed because our Black leaders here is not no longer doing any protests for them. Have you heard the thing about Rashida Tlaib, Professor?
No, I have not.
So Rashida Tlaib is a U.S. congressman. If you have recalled, she's Palestinian, and I've known her for many years. She made a lot of, sarcasm when it came to the Trump administration. The moment that she seen many Congress people and many people here in Detroit was not supporting that war, and we just minding our own business. She's shown her true colors, but she got put on by John Conyers. And if you look him up, he's one of the longest serving U.S. congressmen of Michigan, straight up out of Detroit. If it had not been for him, she would never been in office, yet she turned on the Black community. Now, guess what? I prophesied to her October of 2022, told her how her fate was going to be. Now that's happening 2025. And I bet her the $5. So when I see her, she owes me some money.
Well, I wouldn't look forward to her paying up.
Sometimes I've gotten her to pay up. Oh, yes.
Well,
sometimes I have got her because I've gotten her quite a few times because I read these people professionally.
Well, I appreciate Empress. I'm gonna come back to you. Let's go. We're gonna go ahead and see what Agent has to say. Then we're going to housing. Go ahead, Agent.
What's going on, family? How you doing, Professor? What's up, Nikki? What's up, Wani?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. As pertaining to the topic of the room, is remittance anti-American? I agree with Wani 100%. Yes, it is. If you're gonna come here and stay, spend your money here or go home. Is immigration non-conventional warfare? 100%. Also, something else I'd like to speak on. If you look at right after the Korean War, how they started imposing all of these different rules and regulations on the Black hair care industry, and it totally got exported into Korea, and that's what kicked off Korea from becoming what it was after war, of course, nothing, all the way to what it is now. It was kind of one of the base things that kind of helped Korea jumpstart its roots again, or jumpstart its economy again. So yeah, not only that, it's not only remittance, but they took whole industries away from us. And then too, if you look at all the check cashing places, all the convenience stores that Arabs came into Black neighborhoods and they wouldn't give us loans or money to open up neighborhoods. I mean, those type of businesses in our own stores. So yeah, all of that goes hand in hand. And I land my plane.
Yeah, appreciate it, and that's very, very true.
Very true.
And there's an echo. Our brother Tariq Nasheed was talking about the Korean neighborhood. Some joke got on this show the other day, talking about he was Korean and he lived in the projects or something. And I'm paraphrasing Tariq, but he was like, "Don't know Koreans live in the project," and I was like, "Man, that's so true. Like they already have like a setup, like a network when they get over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting how those neighborhoods are automatically somehow miraculously, speaking of remittances and structure, they already have structures to slip into when they get over here. How does that work? Is Korea subsidizing them?
Mm-hmm.
Wani, I'm asking. I want to know.
Yes, they are.
Somebody educate me. I don't know. What?
Oh, housing. Did you want to go? Wait, who was it?
Housing was next.
I
Yes.
thought it was housing. Hey,
Good
how you doing?
evening, everyone. How's everybody
What's
doing?
going on, brother?
There's a nickname for that, and they call it crash dummy. When black people jump out in front line wanting to speak up for every other group except their own group. Yeah, crash dummy. And I think remittance is basically like laundering money. Where you got these individuals sitting right here in this country, specifically just to make money to send it out to them other countries, sucking up our tax dollars, sucking up the welfare system, the medical system, just sucking money right up. Send them all back. I'll close with that.
Well, housing gave me opportunity to give you a metaphor. One thing I love about Robert Greene is, again, most FBAs are visual learners. From my studies and my research is when I worked for Congress, when I did research for Congress. But let me give you a visual that's very fucking powerful. So, now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about my claim that immigration is non-conventional warfare. I just gave you a metaphor of immigrants, certain immigrant classes coming in behind us in a bike race, directly behind the leader of the race, to let him take all the wind, right? And then at the last minute, just jumping in front of him and speeding ahead, right? Check this out. Look at this image that Robert Greene gives us. He gives the image of the stepping stone. He says, quote, "Stepping stones. The stream runs fast and dangerous, but you must cross it at some point. There lie some stones in a haphazard line that can get you to the other side." I'm gonna say that FBAs are the stepping stones. We in this river. It's a lot of us in this river, and we tough, but we haphazard in this river. We hadn't got our act together fully yet, so we're haphazard, right? Green says, if you linger too long on one stone, you'll lose your balance, right? He says, if you go too fast or skip one, you will slip. Instead, you must jump lightly from one stone to the next and never look back. Isn't that what they do? They come over here and find some what's the word? It's the word that's been used is tether. They tether on one stone and then jump to the next stone, jump to the historically black college, then jump into a fraternity or sorority that's made from his foundational black people. In that fraternity or sorority, they meet connections at the medical school or the school of business, and they jump into the medical school or the school of business at the historically black college. Then they jump to the next stone, pass the test, and then jump to the next stone into private practice, making all that money, and they don't give shit back to the people who helped them. They give a remittance back to their homeland. That shit is not cool. And like Wani said, it needs to be illegal. But that's just what I think. What you think, fuck all white?
Professor Nikki, Wani, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on today.
Peace,
So I'm just gonna. What'd you say, Nikki?
I said peace, hon. I was laughing because of the way Professor says your name. Sorry, that.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, he threw me the alley hoop. Yeah, I slept. All right. So let me address the questions directly. I'll address, is immigration non-conventional warfare? Absolutely so. And I'll say, I don't know if anybody up here has heard of the Alliance BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It is a monetary alliance. They have come together and directly publicly expressed that they plan on devaluing the American dollar.
Wow.
So I was looking at immigration statistics earlier. Our top countries of origin for immigration is the top three is Mexico, India, China. So I'll address the second question. Are remittances anti-American? Well, absolutely, because countries sending our dollars away to their dollars, it actually it helps them directly to accomplish their publicly expressed goal of devaluing our dollar. Because as another one of the speakers earlier said, is that our dollar compared to their dollar is completely different. And when you send our dollar away, it devalues our dollar and strengthens their economy because of the foreign exchange market. And I just don't understand why we are allowing countries who have directly and publicly expressed alliances to devalue our dollar, why we're allowing those specific countries to be the top origin producers of immigrants into our country. That is, it sounds like direct treachery to our country. And I'll land there.
Yeah, I had a mute button pressed. Yeah, it that's what I'm trying to say. Cash gains, educate us.
Peace. I'm still in the same article too. I was looking for the part where it said that other countries, when people remit their money from America to India, for example, that the Indian government is also making money off of it. But I found another part that's pretty similar. It says remittance taxes are a common policy in many nations. Take India, for example. While India receives nearly 12 billion every year in remittances from the US, a migrant living in India must pay a 12.36% service tax on fees charged by banks or financial agents for transferring money both in and outside the country. Not exactly what I was looking for, but it does mention that there are other countries that have it. And one of the things it says here, currently only one state taxes remittances, Oklahoma. In both fiscal years, 2016 and 17, the Sooner State brought in $13 million by taxing international wire transfers at just 1%. For comparison's sake, the entirety of the state's alternative public school program cost $9 million versus the 13. In fiscal year 2017, the state could also quadruple the size of its school lunch program, which costs approximately $3.5 million with that income. And in all 50 states, if all 50 states had a remittance tax in 2017, that would have been 1.5 billion circulating back in the U.S. economy. But again, to Wani's point, we should have all of it, not just the 1% that's being suggested. So, dang, I'm starting to agree with what y'all saying more.
Yeah, man. When inflation's up and Americans cannot pay for fucking groceries, why the fuck are we even allowing this to happen? What's going on with these politicians, man? Why are they letting this happen? Shit. Um, who was next? If you want to speak, raise your hand because I don't see any hands.
I also wanted to add on to that.
Come on, Nikki.
I feel like the Latinos, they had a plan. They had this plan to replace us, and now their cousins and aunts and uncles and grand and daughters or whatever, they're all being deported. And so there's some type of a class issue. They felt like they were passing us up in class. And now they're like, oh, well, how dare you not help us? Because they thought that, because I've seen Mexicans come here and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna take over. In a few more years, we're gonna take your spot. So now they're being deported, and so they're feeling kind of like silly now. Do you get what I'm saying? They're feeling like, oh, so I guess we're not taking their spot. We're getting sent home, and now the black people won't help us. They need to help us. They owe us something because we could have taken over their spot a long time ago.
Wow, what are they? Their minds are shot. I mean, the logic is all over the place. First, they imagine that they're helping us. And then, if they were trying to replace us, we're supposed to help them for some reason that I can't figure out why. Of course, you got to go. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not saying that they could take over or could replace us because they don't do anything. Like, what are they replacing? They're just a big glut of people and they're worthless. As you can see, they don't have a voice. They're running around scattered all over trying to protest. They have no way to gather themselves together. They're not organized. No one cares about what they're saying. They don't drive anything. And when you put two things together, when you say, when you think about schools of thought, you don't even think about them. They haven't even done their history in terms of bringing up some inventions that may have done, collecting some sports things that they don't do anything. They just sit there like a lump. They don't think like that. Like what are they doing? Just trying to get whiter and whiter? Is that their goal in life? While
I
we're
don't get
sitting
it, Wani.
around, I mean, we're dragging all the history from West Africa. We're bigging up all the history from Central and East. We have bigged up everyone's history, and they just sit there like a lump. And it's actually people that are just sitting there. Like when you see white people saying that they're the original Egyptians, why don't we see the people that are the original Egyptians say something? No, they just want to fight with us. You don't see some of these people that are directly connected with Egypt, ancient Egypt, say anything to big themselves up or to say, no, we're the real people. We got displaced. We got run over by Arabs. They never say a word, and neither do Mexicans. Mexicans never talk about anything, no thoughts, no nothing about civil rights, nothing about their heritage. They never big up anything. They're just sitting there waiting for someone like us to do it for them. And we're not doing it. We're not doing that. We're not going to tell them what their history is. They're just waiting for us to do it. Trust me. They're waiting for us to come along and say, oh, this is what you should talk about on Latino History Month, which doesn't exist because they don't say anything. These groups are silent and they're waiting for us to do something. We're the only ones that go around bigging up the history for everyone. And if we withdraw ourselves, they disappear.
So they can copy off of us because they have nothing of their own.
All right.
Well,
they also want to be white too, so they want to play both sides of the fence. They don't want to give up their position.
Yeah. What Wani just said again, those of you just coming in, was a strategy outline in strategy number 27, Unconventional Warfare, in Robert Greene's book. He says the common strategy in a bicycle race is not to go out front, but to stay right behind the leader, a position that cuts down wind resistance. The leader faces the wind for you and saves you energy. At the last minute, you sprint ahead. That's what Wani's saying. These people get right behind us and hide right behind our coattail. And to add insult to injury, when at the last minute, when they sprint ahead and get a position, they make fun of us and call us bullet bags. That's the shit I can't understand. It's like, how about a thank you? You know?
Yeah, I just got called a bullet bag today.
They called you a bullet bag?
My group.
Wow, that's terrible. I can't tell if it was
I
cash
read
or.
that somewhere too, Ronnie. You posted
Yep.
that. Yes. That's horrible. The Haitian lady, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
And I want to piggyback off of what Nikki the God said about replacing us. Nikki, I think that's basically a smokescreen because, as Wani just mentioned, what are they going to do when they do try to replace us? They have nothing. They don't stand on nothing. They stand on nothing. They don't want to know their history, like Wani said. They don't care about how they being treated. And this is another reason why the dominant society want them over here. Why? Because they're not going to put up a fight. They're not
They're
going to
not
question nothing.
intellectually curious. They don't have that curiosity to even determine what's going on.
Yeah, they
You see?
elevator basically don't go all the way up. It stops between floors.
They're
There's a
just
lot of them.
well, I know that they have a lot of incest and rape that I'm seeing in their culture. I can't walk down the street without a bunch of them. Well, it's happened before. It's not like everybody's just chasing after me or whatever, but I've had trucks of them, of men just whistling at me like they're wild animals. It's like they have a problem, like they have some type of a sexual problem.
Yeah.
Yes. And they listen, they bring that mindset right here to America. This is why you always hear stories on the news about young girls, young, under 15, under 12, being raped and murdered. By who? The short Mastio guy. The short, stubby guy. They got the big head, the short, fat body, and they've been doing it. They've been getting away with it in their own country.
Built like a Mexican.
Built like a Mexican.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Go ahead, Cash.
Yo, it says here, back to the article again. I'm reading it like all in different parts and stuff, but I found the part I was mentioning. Rather than being used to purchase goods and services in the United States, the majority of remittance monies go directly into the pockets of foreign businesses. A smaller portion of remittance payments indirectly wind up in the coffers of foreign governments through duties imposed upon the cash transfer itself or taxes on the goods and services purchased with that cash. It says the money sent abroad is typically disposable income. These small luxuries are subject to sales tax, restaurant taxes, excise taxes, resort taxes, etc., known as consumption taxes. Most states and local governments rely on consumption taxes to provide the revenue necessary to maintain roads and fund important services such as fire and police protection. When immigrants remit portions of their income to other countries, it places more pressure on local jurisdictions in the states where they reside to make up that lost revenue elsewhere. This often results in higher overall taxation rates. And they don't say it, but it should say for the locals. And one last paragraph, it goes down a bit further. It says, furthermore, countries with higher rates of remittances received higher, excuse me. Furthermore, countries with higher rates of remittances received tend to suffer from the brain drain effect. A brain drain occurs when those immigrants who have used remittance payments to obtain further education or upgrade job skills migrate out of the developing countries and economies in order to search for a higher standard of living, including improved pay, political stability, or access to better technology. So it's not a recipe for success for these native countries that their best quote unquote people leave to make more money. And it's not a recipe for success that their GDPs depend on that remittance and not local products and production, for lack of a better term.
It's like a welfare system from afar. You
Does
agree?
anyone, does it is, where it's another form of charity. Does anyone know if these remittances help the United States at all? I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I'm not an economist. I don't really know how things work. I'm just looking at it from a,
Well, I read
layman's
something, Wani,
position.
just on the taxes where they charge people. You have a couple of banks out here that specialize in that. Other than that,
And sending the remittances,
yes,
and they charge a fee.
yes.
Okay.
And you also have the basic debit card too. But the main bank, I'm gonna tell you the name, the top bank. It's right here. Hold on, let me pull it up.
That's
Let me-
interesting.
But
That's,
it's not a big fee. It's like when they go to MoneyGram or Western Union to send money.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
nothing that we're really, as America, are making any money on.
But they do make money, whether you want to admit it or not. Uh, Let me give you the top bank.
How much do America make off of
But
that
it's not
housing?
circulating around the neighbor. It's just going to the bank. It's not circulating. But if they were forced to spend that money here, it would circulate. So
Yes, it would. I can't find. It called investment initiatives. The program that this is the one from Africa. And remittance companies with social impact. That one. And like the brothers say, Cash, when they was talking about government initiatives, like it helps the banks, it helps basically the governments over there abroad. When that money comes out of America, that's what they was talking about.
Well, we don't have any more Hooters for these people to milk off of, so get lost.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not making America any money at all.
What, Hooters?
Nope, just service fee. Hooters might be making us some money.
They said the top, Ronnie, they said the top remittance sending countries were United States, 73 billion. Saudi Arabia is at 43 billion. Russia's at 33 billion. United Arab is 28 billion.
People sending money from Russia to places?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the American, yes.
Yeah, got it. Saudi Arabia, they're sending that much money from Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, they got
Saudi Arabia's got a lot of foreign migrant workers.
Oh my God.
Yes, they do.
Who is this flag? Who is this flag with the dog face sitting here?
I don't know. He wants to fight.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, bro?
But yeah, now when it comes to remittance, right? It does benefit because that's tax money before you send it out. So it's like if I work my job and I get taxed on it, you paid your dues already. So whatever you decide to do after that, that's up to you. That's all I just had to say.
Well, I wanted to identify something else to talk about the whole non-conventional warfare elements. Robert Greene identifies another thing about unconventional warfare with respect to, well, I'm superposing immigration on it, but the concept remains the same. Again, that's Rule 27. Those of you who want to buy the book and look for it, it's called The Alliance Game, where people come over here and align with FBAs. Our brother Tariq Nasheed calls it the one big nigga mantra. He said, Green says, if you play the alliance game so that those around you and you cannot take their behavior personally, you must keep dealing with them. But there are some types of whom any kind of alliance will harm you. You can often recognize them about their over eagerness to pursue you. Stop right there. That's why they be up in our rooms. They're over eager to be in our rooms. They're pursuing us. Robert Greene says they will make the first move, trying to blind you with alluring offers and glittering promises. To protect yourself from being used in a negative way, always look at the tangible benefits you will gain from this alliance. Man, Black Americans, can we just please learn that? Can we just look at all alliances we have with people through the lens? How hard would it be to look at alliances through the lens of what can I get out of this? As a matter of fact, Wani, why don't we look at stuff like that?
Well, I am the opposite of a gold digger, right? So this does not come natural to try to see what I can get. So I've had to learn to be a political gold digger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not natural, but I'm going to make it natural. Okay. I'm going to make it natural.
We're going to have to as a means of survival. We have to teach our kids to, be some type of way. It's sad, but it's reality. I see a couple of new people. Let's go with Mobile, and then we're going to go to Capone. Mobile, Bull, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's up, y'all? This is MB of my mobile network channel here. But yeah, one thing that's been on my mind, y'all talk about remittances. I've been digging through the figures of that. It seems like I've seen a figure vary through the years. I think in 2017, the figure was like 140 billion in remittances sent out from the U.S., and I've seen it between 70 to 100 billion through the years. But mainly it seems to be benefiting the banks and financial, companies like fintechs like MoneyGram and them. And I think a lot of these folks in the banks are the politicians that we be, that's supposed to be for us, whatever, like the Elizabeth Warren types, who's definitely in the bid with these financial folks here. So I mean, I think that's the level of it right there, as far as the folks that we see, the folks that's supposed to be for us, but you look at Elizabeth Warren, the Maxine Waters, like this is what they that who's in coots with him with the folks, and we're looking at also like these, why aren't they really trying hard? Like even this thing Trump doing, I'm thinking it's more so political theater, show them that they tough, because they need the migrants, really, the white folks that employ them for cheap, the banks and financial firms that need these folks to use their remittance services, and the landlords that's throwing them, that needs them for, the rent payments or whatever. Like it's all one big game or whatever. And I'm without rambling too much, I'm gonna land my plane on that for now.
Yes, I think we're going to have to hold their feet to the fire on it, because history shows that Ronald Reagan uh, gave lots of people amnesty and made citizens of tons of people and opened up the whole border wider than Kamala Harris's legs. And then Biden came along and did roughly the same thing. So therefore, I don't trust either side. I think that Trump knows that the people voted for this, and we're just going to keep holding their feet to the fire. If we see them slacking off, we're going to get on them, and hopefully we'll be able to regain some of our country back so that we can feel like Americans again, because we're the only people that I know of that can't go home. Everybody else can go home after vacation. If you're Chinese and you went to India for your vacation, you can go home and be Chinese again. You see what I'm saying? If you're Indian and you went to Mexico for vacation, you can go back home and be Indian again. But when an American goes home, all those people are staring down our throats right here.
Talking about mira, que paso? Tired of hearing. I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah, they're done. No more Spanish speaking requirements.
Interesting. Capone, what's on your mind?
What's going on, Professor, Sister Wani, Sister Nikki?
What's going on,
Honor
bro?
the scholars and honor the greats and this lovely, lovely lineage that we do have. But yeah,
Shout out,
remittances.
Capone.
Oh, what's up, my brother Housing? What's going on, Agent Zero? I see my brothers in here, Cash. What's going on, the real ones? Yeah, but yeah, remittances. I'm glad Trump putting a check to that shit. And as far as his warfare, my brothers and sisters, we are in a war. And as since we said, the best war to have is the one your enemy don't know it's in. And so I take that to the forefront of everybody's forehead to remind y'all we are in a war. So remember to stay protected, stay vigilant, protect our women and children. And then again, on this non-conventional warfare, they bring these people in on purpose. They know what's going on. They know the chessboard and they know how to play it because they've been at it for 400 plus years. And now what I say is we are waking up to the bullshit. Not all of us, but some. Just enough to get their goddamn attention, which is good for me. And I appreciate the ones out here dropping gems and knowledge to keep us up and love, peace, reparations, delineations, and deportations. And I land on that.
Right. Appreciate your submission, brother. We're gonna go to, and if I skip over somebody, let me know. We're gonna go to, I think, the Black. Go ahead, Black.
What's going on, everybody?
Peace.
Hey.
Hey.
Look, I got into with this essay earlier.
You sound muffled. Are you in the car?
No, he at the corner store going in and out of the
You in the
store.
corner store? What you doing?
either him or housing at the corner store. I could hear the beeps, the
What you
bell.
guys doing over
No,
there?
that's not me. That's not me.
Standing on
Somebody
the
at the
corner.
liquor. They at the liquor store.
Grabbing a bottle of penny.
Y'all remember in Don't Be a Menace when they walked into the Korean shop, the alarm said nigger.
That sound like the black. Sound like the black getting that 40-40 right now. Black, you getting that 40-40?
Yeah,
We have
stupid.
really let these immigrants lose their minds.
Oh man, no cap.
I mean, how in the hell are you going to come out of a Korean ghetto, go into our neighborhood, and then get an attitude toward us, the only customers? Are you crazy?
You know, it's just enough to think. It's enough to make your head explode. That's for sure.
That's why they about to take their asses back to where they came from.
Did you guys see that guy's music video? Not Like Us remix. Can't deport us. Can't deport us.
That shit was
Oh
hilarious,
my
Wani.
God.
That's the Asian guy, right, Wani?
Yes, it is.
I seen it. Did you see the interview with the head ICE guy on Fox News talking about he's going into the jails and everything in New York?
Wow.
Yeah, they're putting them in what do you call that place?
Rikers Island.
Yeah, Rikers Island.
No, he said he's going in there to look for criminals.
Yeah, he's going to pluck them right out. Easy pickings. You're already locked up. Just take them right on out.
And he's talking about, sue me. I don't care. Sue me 20 times over. I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to handle my business.
Damn.
Rent prices about to fall in New York.
Damn.
And it's another thing I wanted to add on when the brother was mentioning about how the landlords be accepting cash payments from the Mexicans and all that. But if you go look for an apartment, they want bank statements, they want your tax return, they want all kind of paperwork just for you to live there. But as soon as a Mexican or a foreigner come in, hey, Poppy, how much you got? No malo, dame.
Because they don't mind being slumlords, and they don't mind having 20 to 50 people in an apartment just so they know that rent's going to be paid.
Yeah.
Each person put up $1.
Yeah, this is true. Cash Gains, what's on your mind, brother?
Hey, y'all still got Mo on stage?
I didn't see him. Sure do. I'm sorry, Cash. My bad. Mo, what's on your mind?
No, I was going to ask a question to Mo, actually. I met him before.
Okay, go ahead, Cash.
Yeah, and really, this is a question I keep asking myself that has to do with immigration in general. But Mo, let me use Senegal, for example, as a random country, right? Just picking one. Is there something that a person from Senegal can do that like an American can't? Just before I continue, as far as employment goes, that's what I mean.
I mean, depends. There's certain things we can't do, but certain things, for the most part, we can.
For sure.
Be specific, if you don't mind, brother.
Wait, he said they could do something we couldn't do?
Yeah, but he didn't identify it. So
no, I thought you meant is there certain things Americans can do that Senegalese can't do? That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The reason I ask is because we're often told as Americans that we need to import labor because there's certain things that other communities have access to. For example, that Indian Americans might be foreigners might be better at technology or something like that. So I just wanted to know if there was a presupposition before I ask my next question. So there's nothing that is Senegalese, like American, Senegalese, same thing, right? As far as employment goes. If Americans were coming to Senegal disproportionately, or let's say at all, and we're using social welfare programs more than the locals, would you consider that an issue?
No, because there's no social welfare things.
Oh, you think you're funny, huh?
For example, as well, How about billions being sent from that country of our own free will, right? We work those jobs, which I don't know if you consider that displacing a local as far as employment, but I'm paying my taxes in Senegal, but I'm sending billions of dollars back to America over third world conditions in Senegal. Would you consider that to be egregious?
No, because that happens already. Actually, there's
All right,
American.
well, I guess same page.
There's American. Yeah, I was going to say there's American companies in Senegal that send money back. I mean, that's their money.
How do you
I'm
know
talking
that?
about priority.
I think you're talking about individually, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Not a company, but a person.
Yeah, like anecdotal.
Even individually, you can do what you want. It's your money. You made it. Like
Oh, it is your money. You earned it.
Yeah, if you earned your money, like,
legal.
do what you want with it.
You paid your taxes on it. So we're not speaking about breaking the law. We're speaking about right or wrong and the parasitic nature of what is happening and the refusal to be an American and even consider being an American.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. If you do your job, you ain't stealing from no one. Send your money and do what you want with it. Because it's like
that's not true. I mean, they talk a good game, but the minute somebody goes over to that country and does better than the local, that person could possibly be murdered. And they do it all the time. They get jealous and bitter. We're not going to murder anybody because you don't have anything worth murdering for. But collectively, people have come here and what they're doing is draining the country, sucking it dry like vampires. Sucking it dry. What you're doing is sucking it dry like a vampire. Now, you personally can't do it, but a lot of people, which is what we have, can do it. If everybody has the same notion that they're going to come over to America, make money, and do this and that, what is that? That's impossible. This is a finite amount of space, a finite amount of resources, a finite amount of jobs. They don't have jobs for everybody in the freaking world. We don't have housing for everybody in the world. So this plan to drag your ass over here is not a very good plan because it won't work. It doesn't work like that. That's why there's the earth and different places on the earth. Everyone cannot pile up in two continents, which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to pile up in two continents and then make little versions of your trash countries in the continents that don't fit that lifestyle. That doesn't work. And when it becomes too many of you and you start talking about we're going to put Sharia law over here, we're going to do this, you're not going to do anything. You need to read some books on how Germany dealt with immigration. That's what you need to do. You need to see how immigrants wanting to do their thing in another person's country push their will and their ideas and pretend like that's really their thing. You need to read about how that turned out. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. And in conclusion, are remittances anti-American? From what I've learned today in this space, I'm going to agree in the affirmative. They are anti-American. They take away from our economy. And in these dire straits, there are a lot of moving pieces, ladies and gentlemen. I challenge every last one of y'all. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it for you. I'll put the debt clock momentarily in the Jumbotron. Look at the debt clock. We're in trouble. And like I think Cash Gaines said earlier, our rival countries are creating a gold-backed currency to compete with the dollar. What do y'all think that's going to do to inflation? You know, it doesn't take
nothing.
Uh-oh. Come on with it. I think that sounded like 7.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, a gold-backed currency doesn't mean it's convertible to gold. Unless it's convertible to gold, it doesn't mean anything.
You you say that you don't think that the BRICS currency is going to affect the American dollar, the value of the dollar?
Nope.
Oh man, you're gonna have to defend that.
India and China will never get along.
Okay. Well, money and power has a way to build alliances. Remember what I just read.
Dude, they hate each other. It's going back thousands of years.
But then again, you're a very brilliant person, but that's the FBA thought process where we're thinking, I'm not going to play with you because I don't like you. Other groups of people know how to be fake. Listen to what Robert Greene says. He says, if you play the alliance game, so will those around you. And you cannot take their behavior personally. Got it? You must keep dealing with them. But there are some types with whom any kind of alliance will harm you. You can now often recognize them by their over eagerness to pursue you. I really just want to read that first part where in the game of power and dominance, you gotta tolerate shit like you don't get personally. Now I don't know. I'm aware of that a long history between India and China, and how India
Russia
keeps
and China
back.
don't get along either. They got border disputes. They almost nuked each other back in the late 1960s.
Wow. But I'm asking, what's the possibility of?
Go ahead, my bad, Professor. Go ahead.
I'm almost done. I'm just asking Seven. What's the possibility of India and China working together against in diametric opposition to the United States? You don't think they're going to do it?
Oh, that's hard.
That's what I'm
Could be,
saying.
but it could happen. But I'm not rolling the dice and expecting a favorable outcome.
Well, the BRICS thing. I've been studying the BRICS thing for like the last 2 years.
Well, educate me on it.
It's gonna happen, but it ain't gonna happen right now. Reason is it's not gonna happen right now is because too many people, especially China, has a lot of our debt. So what they're trying to do is gain up more debt.
They don't have our debt, man.
They got enough of it. They have enough
they
of
don't.
it.
They don't have any of our debt. If you know how modern monetary theory works, you don't believe those things.
All right, well, monetary theory. Well, okay, forget the debt clock then that they have on the U.S. now. Because we've been buying all their shit. So now let's just put it to the gold backing would be between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That gold reserve is not even enough to, compete with the U.S. because of all the gold we took. So then what they're doing is they're buying gold and Bitcoin. And so what that does is that reserves their currency because their currencies ain't shit compared to the dollar. And so now Trump's making the dollar stronger. They're holding off on executing that first shot to bring the war begins. So what they're doing right now is gaining up their power and see who they can keep. And basically just checking the field right now. It's gonna happen, but it ain't gonna happen no time soon. That's all I gotta say on it.
Well, where are you basing your timeline off of?
Since they even mentioned that way back in 2020, way back in 2020 when they mentioned that shit.
Right.
When they mentioned that, like I said, I've been keeping an eye on it because I was like, any competition to the U.S. dollar fucks up my movement. So let me see what these people talking about.
Well, I hope I truly hope you're right, bro. I hope you're right because that's a conflict we don't want.
Oh hell no! It's a financial war. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see how it plays out, but I don't think it's not gonna happen no time soon, though. But I gotta land because I gotta walk around all these wild ass machines.
I appreciate you, bro. Miss T, Miss T, and then what's that? I don't have my glasses on. Mo, go ahead.
Okay. One thing I want to say is regarding BRICS. Just watch how Trump, the master of making the deal, watch how he moves. Today he had the man from India at the White House, right? He spoke with Putin, with Russia over the phone, and apparently tonight the war in Ukraine has ended. Zelensky has, I guess, succeeded or whatever because his money train has stopped, right? What? So that's 1 million. He lost over 1 million soldiers. So that's 1 million dead races, the way I look at it. So Trump is, to me, moving in a way to create some alliances with, and then the South Africa. thing. You know, the invitation to those in South Africa who feel a need to get away, welcoming them into the United States, right? So that's Russia, that's India, that's South Africa. I wouldn't be surprised to hear about him next meeting with the leader of Brazil. I'm not too sure what he's going to do with China, but watch how he's moving. He's definitely making moves to stop or mitigate whatever it is that they were trying to achieve by forming BRICS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
this getting deep. Man.
Well, Professor, one thing I do know is that no money is going out of the United States like it was when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was.
Oh man, that was a hot motherfucking mess.
Yeah, he's stopping all that. He's stopping all that.
Listen, every other day you heard about 50, 60 billion going there for weapons. No, that's not happening right now. And for, what's that guy, Lazinski, the cross-dresser over there? He's mad that, like the lady just said, the money stopped. Now,
he's a cross-dresser?
Yes, he is.
What did I miss?
Yeah,
So
he
He
dressed
played
like
the
a
piano
Money,
with his
where you
penis.
been?
what?
So Miss T, you said that about 1 million of his soldiers are dead, not
Yeah,
counting
that's
the
what.
Russians.
Yeah, not counting the Russians. It says that he lost a million people. And I'm reading up on it now. I'm watching the networks to see if they are going to say anything. As soon as I hear them saying anything, I'll let you know, Professor. But apparently, their war has ended. He has no money. He better call Biden.
Wow.
Well, he also said he's not going to do it, but we're going to see.
Do what?
Not concede.
You know what? I already know there's millions of people dead. They have pits of bodies, which is my judgment on your group. If you have created a pit of bodies, don't even talk to me about anything. Don't ever say Chicago, because we don't have a pit of anything. People in this country have created pits of bodies, and that is one of them. And they're going to be investigating this for years. Yeah, we may not be interested in it, but they're going to be going over there, digging up bodies. They're going to find torture. They're going to find every Geneva Convention violation under the sun. And this is just going to be a big hot mess when it is over.
And you know, Joe Biden them paid their pensions and everything when the war broke out.
Oh yeah, I'm done with them. They're total trash. Mo, did you want to say something? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, no, I was enjoying where the conversation was going.
Oh, I saw your hand up. Anybody else? Oh, I see the Black is supposed to come up.
Come on, Black. What's on your mind? Did he come back?
I can't hear him speaking at
Me
all.
neither.
He got that bottle in his hand. He just came out the liquor store.
Is it Ripple?
Oh, that's terrible.
Got that wild Irish rose.
Oh Lord, don't. No, you didn't say that, man. Got some Mad Dog 2020.
He's a wino. He's a wino.
A wino.
You probably drinking some Night Train.
I don't know no Night Train. I remember that Mad Dog 2020 or 4040, whatever. You remember MD Mad Dog?
Man, the old school.
We don't have winos anymore.
What we got, Wani?
I don't know. What's the new name? Drunk.
Yeah, but he got a big old buzz ball.
You only see Mexicans in the street now with the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Drunk as a skunk all day, every day.
Well, they can do that in Tijuana. Why are they over here showing off?
Because they could go to the welfare system.
Look how drunk I am, everybody.
They could get food stamps and everything from the system.
Ew.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Same sentiment, Wani.
They got the ladies walking around with thousands of dollars of food stamps on their card. Why Black America?
That part is not gonna that part is really gone. Ooh, they really got them on that. You know how quick they can turn these cards off. I had a friend who worked as a security guard in my building, and they turned his social security number off. Look, you don't have a social security number anymore. And he was like, "Oh, it must be a glitch. Must be a problem." He was He was born in Cuba, and his mother ran to Mexico and brought him over. But guess what? She forgot to get him a real social security number. So he's actually illegal wherever he is.
That's crazy.
They can turn your social security number off anytime they want. They discovered that he did not have his paperwork right.
That's terrible. You said that before, Wani. I didn't make a comment. I've never heard that before. That's wild. So what does it mean? Like you try to apply for a job and they say, sorry, you weren't found?
After, I don't know when they turned it off, but when they went to do something on his job, like his whatever they do with Social Security, they said this number says invalid.
Wow.
It says invalid, and nothing could help. He got a lawyer. He spoke to his mother, everything, and it's like, nope. So he just has to be illegal until they sweep him up. By the way, he's like 400 pounds.
A lot of the
Damn,
things.
how long was he here?
30 some years. He's he's 400 pounds. He cannot. I was like, why are you a security guard? You can't walk. I could do all kind of crimes.
Semi truck, you know that's him.
I could do all kind of crimes, and you can't even catch me.
Did they send him back, Wani?
He's hiding out.
They might want to check SeaWorld.
Hey, just so y'all know, most countries on the planet, you can achieve citizenship if one of your parents is of that nationality. So I wouldn't shed no tears for somebody that becomes a beast with no nation. They just have gotten confused due to the socialization of racism and are finally realizing what their actual ethnicities are and reconnected with them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's a nice guy, but he is, he has been used by his mammy to get over here. And she didn't get that anchor baby because she squatted the anchor out in the wrong country, didn't she? She dropped the anchor in Mexico. Yep, she dropped the anchor in Mexico and no, in Cuba, ran to Mexico, and then tried to pawn him off as an anchor here, and it didn't work out because his birth certificate didn't pan out right.
Yeah.
Now, see, I feel sorry for him, but
I don't.
His mammy is a leech. Okay. And now he's a 400-pound leech.
Yeah, you've been around me too long, Juan. And you saying mammy. Next, you're gonna be saying Maine and yonder. Where is Nikki? She's over yonder.
Professor?
Yes, sir. Yes,
this
sir.
afternoon, Professor, this afternoon, I was thinking about, I'm gonna pose a question to you guys. How can we, what's the word I'm trying to use? How can we reprogram the FBAs that's in our group, the ones that's up there capping for all the immigrants? How can we reprogram them? Can anybody give me some suggestions?
Man, I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
They lost.
Go ahead.
They lost. Let them go. Not everybody's gonna make it on this shit.
Yeah, man. I focus. That's one reason why I focus on the youth, man.
And they're not dating and married to him, and they're still doing that. Now I get, when somebody says that they're with them and they start doing that, okay, so you can't be checked. But I know people that don't have any friends of those backgrounds, and they're just going hard, real hard. Like, what are you doing? What's it to you?
They want to be in everybody else's business.
I know.
That's horrible.
They know what I'm saying is right, but they can't wrap their head around it. It's like everything I'm saying, they agree, but they still do the opposite of what I'm saying.
I go see my sister. First thing she calls me, You're a Trump lover. You're a Trump lover.
See, that's what I'm saying. Or they'll put you. Now they don't do that to me because they know I'm not
No, that's my sister.
like that. But they'll do that. Oh, you're on the other team. It's not teams.
Right.
It's not teams.
But the first thing, but if I ask, I said, well, tell me, what have the Democrats done for black people? First thing she'll say is, well, Trump this, Trump that.
Yeah, they deflect.
They avoid the
instantly.
question.
Well,
Only one.
we used to be in a moral position where we could say, oh, look at those terrible Republicans. They're always talking about being Christian and they're always getting caught texting 14-year-old boys, and Larry Craig with the wide stance in the men's room, tapping his feet, trying to get some from other men. We could always point to all their scandals and feel comfortable that we were on the right side. Remember those days? Well, I do. And now we have Andrew Gillum, who had the biggest sex scandal that made Larry Craig. Well, Larry Craig was funny. I have to give it to the tapping the feet and all that stuff. But this guy was the worst sex scandal ever. And so they can't say they didn't have sex scandals. They've been twerking and doing all kind of stuff all over the place. And they can't even compare anything because they're trying to institutionalize pedophilia and perversions and drag queens in kindergartens. They have institutionalized this perversion. So they don't even have the moral high ground anymore.
Did you hear about
Everything
Sister
they're
Wanda? Did you hear
doing
about
is
the porn
crazy.
books they had in the kindergarten classes in
Oh
one of
yeah,
the
they
states
have
supported?
everything. Masturbation books.
Yeah, that's
Books
what
to
it was.
tell
A
you to change
masturbation
your
book. Yeah.
My
gender.
God.
Trying to get people to talk about what gender they want to be. They are, oh God, I can't even tell you the things that they've been doing in these schools. It's outrageous and it's institutionalized. It's not like a scandal. It's not like one person. They're trying to mess everybody up. They got so many girls with their breasts cut off, scarred for life. They can never get that back. Never. This is not about getting silicone implants. They have removed the nipples. I don't know who's hacking these girls up like this.
That's terrible.
Yes, but a couple about a year ago, they had a lot of video footage of these drag queens in these rooms, and they twerking and dancing in front of a bunch of little kids, little girls, little boys, and the parents, mainly white parents, clapping. Like, this is cool.
Right. Who are these people?
But a couple of those drag queens, and the media kept it under covers, they've been charged for molesting little girls.
And then the transgenders will say, well, we've never done this. You've accused us in the regular straight. No, you have done it. You do it. They get in trouble for doing that all the time.
You know what you hide behind? You hide behind the LBG tag while you do your little sneaky, devious, wicked, foul shit. Excuse my language.
It's infuriating. Nobody wants to see children
manipulated, taken advantage of.
Taken advantage of. The adults are the only people that can take care of children and protect them. And these dumbass parents are sitting here letting their children's eyes be violated. And the adults that are doing it are not going to protect them because they're trying to date them. So what protection do they have?
But when you sit there and watch the parents clapping and laughing, like this is normal. This is a normal process. A drag queen, a man dressed as a lady, literally switching and twitching in front of little boys and girls.
Well, I know the background on that. Trust me, I'm on that case. I have the backgrounds of everybody who's pushing these agendas, and you're not gonna like my report.
Mm-mm. Well, we're gonna go to. I see a new speaker on the floor. The sharper word. Sharper word. What's on your mind?
Hey, I appreciate you bringing me up. Yeah, I'm new to your guys' spaces, and I've been listening for the last couple of nights. I've got a newborn baby, so I haven't been able to request to speak for a time because you know what that might be like, and there's some stuff that has been fascinating to me, especially when we talk about what Americans are and the American cause. And when I'm a student, I'm also a legislator in Michigan, and I'm really interested in trying to figure out, well, how do we overcome some of the divides that we have when we talk about Americans that live in communities. I listen to a lot of the interactions that had been had in the last two nights, in particular in the space here. And I have a lot of respect for it because there are a lot of virtuous people that are in the space that have very, very well thought out arguments as they point out, especially with folks who are African who claim to be FBA.
Hold on. Let's stick to the script. What do you think about remittances? You think they're anti-American, and do you think immigration is warfare?
Well, when you're talking about remittances, I think that delves into what the American cause should be. And I think maybe 2 nights ago talked about what your ma taught you is what do you have in common with this person? And so when we're talking about remittances, there are a lot of people that will pay those types of remittances that have a lot in common with you, that also are on the same economic level with you. And this is where I spend a lot of time considering, how do we go about this, where a lot of people that are in power kind of leech off of all of the people that will be paying these remittances, or starting off all these different discrepancies with people who have the American cause in mind, in common. That's where my mind goes. So I feel like there are a lot of people that are probably Malcolm X would describe as a powder keg, a racial powder keg under our country. And politicians in particular love to delve from that in ways to start things to gain political power. And I'm very worried about that. But listening to the spaces has been fascinating to me, and I'm grateful that you guys have me in.
Okay, so I didn't really get. I appreciate you being here, but I didn't get a clear answer. Do you think remittances?
Eva, it's a yes or no question.
Relax.
Yeah. What do you?
I don't think so because where taxpayer dollars come from are from taxpayers, right? And if we have special groups that we give money to, and then we delve deeper into races and things like this, I think that it was pretty explained in the last 2 nights that I was listening anyway. And obviously, chirp me if I'm not on point, but how do you really discern who is worthy?
Well, let me give you a specific case. Let's say, Somalis, Americans in what do you call it? Where's
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I don't know why I drew a blank. I drew a blank on Minnesota. I couldn't do it. I don't know why. But let's say they're giving money back to Somalia, areas of Somalia that are hostile against America. Is it fair that they're giving our taxpayer money, to a hostile nation?
I'm opposed to that too. Yeah, I think that this is why we're seeing a huge movement against foreign aid, against all of where our money is being corrupted, and then all of us are paying into that. This is where I think we find a lot of that common ground, in the sense that what I hear in this space, I hear virtue and I hear morals, and this is what the American cause is meant to uphold. And if our money isn't going to that, then that's where I think we find a lot of common ground. And no matter what color of skin or where you come from, like we have a union, and there are people that I named my boy Lincoln. He's 2.5 years old, and I'm a student of that man. And what we have in front of us is the opportunity to save the reason why people want to come here. And this is becoming worse and worse and worse over the years as the immigration aspects, and these folks are coming here and they don't understand what America means. And we have to remind the individuals that live here what the American cause means. And that's kind of my 2 cents. But I'm open to being picked apart on it. But I'm involved in the political world, and I want to be sharpened.
So you're saying,
especially by this group.
So you're saying yes and yes. Okay, cool. I have last question for you. What's your lineage? I'm curious. Where are your people from?
I'm French, Canadian, Indian, and I'm Finnish.
Okay, gotcha.
Half and half.
Got it. Appreciate.
Finnish.
I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
I want to make a Finnish joke, but I don't want to.
You can.
Are you finished talking? Okay, it was corny, but that's all I could come up with.
Monty, that's funny. Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you again.
So 1.2 is my buddy from Detroit. He's a legislator in Detroit. We're trying to delve into the history of Michigan in particular. Malcolm spent some time in Lansing, right? His father was killed by the KKK there. And, I'm in Southwest Michigan where the Underground Railroad was super strong. And we are going to point to history in legislation. And we're going to try to figure out how to point to those individuals that did it better than we are doing now. And so if anyone here wants to try to help inform us on that, I'd be very, very grateful.
I have a question for you, sir.
Relax.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm a licensed historian, so I'll send you a follow back, and if you have any questions, hold on, let me give you a follow back.
Yeah, especially if you have a group, because we are American.
Yeah.
We can't go running back to other countries when the heat's on.
I heard you last night putting people, like the last 2 nights, the way that your conversation and your arguments are super sound. And it's something I hadn't heard before. I was talking to my wife about it the last 2 days. I've been sitting and listening to you guys' conversation, and it's something that I think is very significant when we talk about politics and the future of the United States.
Well, we have a rogue arm of people who pretty much dominate academia, and they want Black Americans to be anti-American. They say we're stateless, we're Africans that are just hanging out over here, despite being here half a millennia and having all kinds of admixtures up the wazoo. They are hopefully being oppressed by our movement, what we're doing, because our history is to be very patriotic. That's why we had the Buffalo Soldiers. That's why we had the Tuskegee Airmen. We are hyper patriotic. We have everything to do with America. So this new thought that, that kind of been hanging over our heads, making us say, oh, no, we can't fly the flag. Yes, we can. And then they have this strange argument that, America's not good to you, but your country genocided you and you ran over here for help. So why would we not fly our flag if you're flying your genocidal flag that represents all of your people who have done a genocide against you? But we're not supposed to like our flag. At least we can fly our flag and say those other people did these hostilities toward us and enslaved us. We could say that. That makes more sense than to fly a flag of a country where the people behind that flag have actually done the genocide against you, in my opinion.
Well, I think that correlates very well with last night's conversation, how you put that one dude down with the okra conversation. It's like you have nothing to offer at all in any capacity to our cuisine. And I respected that immensely, that conversation. I'm not going to lie. But the thing is I think what the professor described is what do we have in common? And so we have a country where there are powers completely destroying our children and our kids' minds, shackling their minds. And my point is that we've got to bring enough people together to the American cause to overcome that. And I'm a part of that from a state legislative standpoint. And I've been wondering about this for many years. I was a teacher before that, and we lost so many young black men to being expelled and being just kicked out of school. And it like that, my heart rends for it. I've been deeply involved in this, and I listen to this. It's been fascinating. So I hope that
what subject did you teach?
I taught civics. I taught Spanish. I taught English. I hate Spanish. I had to teach it because I had to learn it when I was in 8th grade. Spanish, civics, English, and civics.
Got it. So so if you want, you mentioned you got a friend in the state legislature. If you do need my expertise, I'm a licensed historian in several states, and I would be happy to bounce some.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. It's Donovan McKinney. My name is Brad Paquette.
Okay,
we're in Michigan, in Michigan House.
Right on. That's my tag. That's my real name, Alon.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm on my side account, and I'll jump in with them.
Right on. I sent you a follow back, so you can DM me with information if you need me, guys. I want to let y'all know that in the jumbotron you can find Nikki the Guy's Cash App and Wani Spots his Cash App. Show them love. And in addition, if y'all want a copy of my book, I have a new batch of books in. Put $25 on my Cash App with your address and with full zip code and your name, and I'll send you out a copy this weekend. I'll send another, and if you bought a copy last couple of days, several of you bought copies, it goes out Saturday. Just FYI. So, a sharper word, if you want to land your plane, you can. And after that, we're gonna move on to. I left my glasses somewhere. Don't know where I put my dang glasses.
I'm gonna say something real quick.
Can I tell my Fleetino story?
No, wait a minute.
Go ahead, Wani.
You said Fleetino.
Fleetina.
Yes, so my Fleetino story.
Wow.
I just want to say that I don't appreciate Pan-Africanists telling people that they're stateless and that America hates them. That goes against Frederick Douglass. It goes against the Tuskegee Airmen. It goes against the Buffalo Soldiers. It goes against every word they ever said when they were presented with the idea of going back to Africa. They wanted nothing to do with it because they don't know anything about it, and they're not even that ethnicity anymore, those ethnicities anymore. Just like you wouldn't expect a Native American to go back to China or go to Asia. They're not from there now. They've created a whole new ethnicity here. And that's just not what's going to happen. So if Caribbeans feel that way, because I saw the CARICOM 10-point plan for reparations, and a lot of their reparations says that they want to go to Ghana. That's their dream. That's their idea of reparations. And we don't need to adopt it, and they don't need to be sitting on any task forces regarding reparations discussing what we want. We're not the same people. We're simply not. And that's one of the things we have to make sure that we make sure who's who in these discussions, because one person's idea of repair is not another person's idea of repair. They didn't have the same situations that we have, and they don't have the same background. And we're just going to make sure that everyone knows that.
Right on. Let's see. I don't know who was. I think Ani Saru had his hand up. Ani Saru, did you have a chance to speak?
No, not yet. But I was going to bring it back to something.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. So I'm just letting y'all know that I'm gonna get a couple more speakers. We're gonna close the room shortly. So when I bring you up, go ahead and make sure you land your plane, and we'll have another space tomorrow. So go ahead, Ani Saru. Then we'll go to the black, no taxation, and yeah. So go ahead, Ani Saru.
Okay. So, absolutely, immigration is warfare. one thing people miss with the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance, with the Palestinian person going up there with a Hamas war flag. He had a war flag. Now, one thing we had to pay attention to is that Trump was the first president ever to come to a Super Bowl. These are symbols. This is very important. That means in American history, this has never happened before. Did you know right after the Super Bowl, Trump announced that if Hamas didn't hand over these Israelite, what you call them, hostages over there, that he was going to go to war with Gaza? If they didn't, he said if they don't hand those hostages over by Saturday, 12 o'clock, America is, I'm like, nobody's talking about this. So when you guys said that the other war in Ukraine, we might be going right back to war because some people, not the Trumpsters that are Trump stands that be glazing him, we're talking about people that can really think and see, what's actually happening. Trump is nothing but a do boy for the Israel Mossad government or whatever. He works for Netanyahu. So if by Saturday, if Hamas doesn't hand over those Israelite hostages, America's about to go to war with Gaza. And if we go to war with Gaza, that's going to trigger World War III because then we're going to get into other folks' business. So one thing I noticed is that the Palestinian person that was standing on the Kendrick Lamar car, they didn't do nothing to this guy for like 2 minutes. This had to have been an inside job. And guess what they announced? I'll land on this. They announced a day ago that the guy, he was a Palestinian person. He's not going to be charged. He's not going to be charged. Why would they announce that? They could have just buried it at that. They said he's not going to be charged. So that means if, say, a Black American went up there and grabbed the mic from Kendrick and said reparations for FBAs or Black Americans, damn well he will be banned from every other Super Bowl. This Palestinian did a act of war and put up a Palestinian war flag, and they just announced that nothing will happen to him.
Appreciate your submission. We're going to go to
Professor.
Hold on. Yes, sir.
I want to intercede on that. Tariq had that guy on his space. He's not Palestine. He's an African dude that was on that thing. And he was a dancer.
Exactly.
So what are you talking about?
Well, he's an immigrant.
Yeah, he's South
Hold on,
Sudanese.
time out. You just said this guy's a Palestine. He's not. He was a dancer. He snuck in. He was a dancer. Did you see Tariq's space today?
No.
Answer my question. Did you see his space? The guy was on there. He was capping for Palestine, and Trump said that if the hostage is not released, he said all bets is off. He never said United States is going to war with anybody. No one heard that. Where did you hear that from?
I'm gonna have to look into look more into that issue before I can speak intelligently on it. So
yeah, I didn't hear going to war.
Yeah, I did not hear that
because it wasn't said. He just said very bad things could happen.
Yeah, wow.
Is this fear mongering?
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
So I'm not saying that. Okay, he's insinuating he's going to do an act of war. If he does anything for us, that's for Israel. That's my point. That was my whole point. It's not.
And I bet you a dime to a dollar.
I think some of the hostages are American.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure Trump is not working for Yatnin, whatever his name is, Benjamin Yatnin. Definitely not him.
Netanyahu.
Yeah, because Trump don't even like that guy. And again, that guy was African. He wasn't a Palestine.
All right, we're gonna move
Palestinian.
We're gonna move quickly to a new speaker, Brad. No taxation in the black has last words. Go ahead, Brad. What's on your mind?
So I'm the sharper word. I was just pointing out that I respect this group listening in
and understanding the fact that the virtuous citizens who love their country want to maintain it. Like, I'm all about that. Like I was saying with my colleague in Detroit, we have a movement on this issue. It's small. Hearing this is just, it revitalizes a lot of the stuff that I appreciate. I know I'm not black man. I'm not. I just want to be a part and support the American cause. So that's all I want to say. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
You can send the information to the professor about any groups. Yeah, right. We're American, so we'll support American causes, and that's until further notice.
Yeah, right on.
I think it's essential. So thank you.
Yeah, if our interests align, let's talk as Americans. Let's move on to the black. I'm closing space in a couple minutes, so go ahead and make your submission, land your plane. I'm sorry, no taxation, and then the black will have last words. Go ahead, no taxation. No taxation. Can you hear me?
No taxation. Long
Here
time
I am.
no hear.
Okay.
Here I am. What you say, Wani?
Long time no hear.
I know.
What happened?
Girl, let me tell you. You want to hear the real story, y'all? Y'all know I always got a story. I like my life. So anyway, I'm having some circulatory issues, and I'm working on it with me. I have been to the specialist and all that kind of stuff, so I'm fully informed, and I'm gonna see if I can do something myself. And I got an adjustable bed. Child, when I tell you I ain't seen y'all, I might have heard y'all. But I ain't did nothing but lift that bed up and down. I love it, and I think everybody in America should have one. Okay. It's the best purchase I ever made. So that's where I've been, playing in the new bed.
It's nice. Is it cold out there?
Yeah, and it was a good time to get it because I don't, I'm not really out in the cold. Normally, this time of the year, I'm not even home. It just so happens that I'm here because I got sick. I was sick over the holiday season, the entire season. And I'm doing the tail end of it now, and so I wasn't able to go to my mom's and help her out, or give my sister a break or anything. But it's life. What are you gonna do? You're gonna move on and move forward, right? That's all you can do. Do your best.
Yes.
Rest. But I know one thing: I ain't gonna stop walking. I don't give a damn what. And plus, I got some new off-white sneakers, Nikki. I'm trying to be cute. Listen, I ain't trying to be looking like the old lady. So remittances, when you say that about these people sending the money, the first thing I thought of was Walmart. And I'll tell you why. There was my son lives in another state, and his girlfriend at the time was pregnant. And, I was so happy. I was like, oh, yeah. Let me send you some money. You know how you do. First grandchild. And so I said, well, where do you bank? And my son said, I don't have a bank. So I said, what you mean you don't have a bank? A mother. So come to find out, I didn't know it. Probably everybody knows it but me. You could go into Walmart to this day. You can go walk into Walmart. This is the best game I ever seen in my life. I said, look at this. Look what Walmart is doing. I said, they're hiring these people. They're giving them a paycheck. They're giving the paycheck right the fuck back before they get out the door. And what they don't give back to Walmart, they're sending the money out. And Walmart is charging them on that. That's a good game if you can get it. So that's what I thought about.
A good friend of mine who died recently, well, he died in a car wreck, a motorcycle accident, said that Walmart was the Chinese embassy. But ladies and gentlemen, my lady done called me to bed. I'm gonna close this space down at 12:30. So no taxation. Go ahead and land your plane, and we'll give a couple minutes for the black.
No, that was all I came to say. I wanted to talk about Walmart. There is one last thing I do want to say because I've been wanting to say it for the last 3 spaces because I've been coming in late. Africa is already divided up, y'all. We own the bottom half. China owns the middle half, and the Saudi people own the top half. And that's just true tea. It's been divided up. Obama did that. And we have like 210 drone bases in Nigeria alone, all through the bottom stuff. Those people, they don't own anything in their country. Everything is divided up. The Chinese got it, we got it, and the Saudi people have it. They're a done deal. They've been a done deal for years, truth to tell. So I just want to throw that out about the little African situation. Because see, we don't even put equipment over there now. Not like what we have. We just build a drone base. See, Obama is known for the man of drones, as he's going to go down in history for that. Okay, and so that's what I wanted to say about that. And I'm through. Y'all go to bed, Professor. If you're tired.
Professor.
Hey, everybody in the room too.
Hey.
I'm gone.
Well, thank you. No taxation. The black, you got final words. But what's up, Housing? You had something to say right quick.
Put the phone down for an hour and go relax.
No.
It's Valentine's Day. He got to get in there with his wife, y'all.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna share something with y'all because I love y'all so dearly. Hold on one second. Where is it?
Oh my God, boy or girl?
Oh Lord, you funny.
Oh, I would be so excited.
Nah, that ain't that type of news yet. But I think this is it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Might be in the morning.
I got the wrong one. Hold on. I was gonna share a picture I took. I wanted to give you guys. The hell, I left my glasses somewhere. Don't know where the hell they are.
You're wearing your glasses, Professor. They're on your face.
No, I put them somewhere, and I don't know where.
Wani, I'm off tomorrow. That's why I said that. I can hang out.
I can't. I gotta take my black ass to work.
Mr. Wani gonna have dreams about catfishing.
All right, this is for the ladies in here. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all. I've kind of made a special day, but anyway.
One of you guys has to open up a hangout room. Hint, hint.
I want no conversation. It's too loud for me to do that right now.
I got a box of chocolate.
Box of chocolate. Box of chocolate.
A box of chocolate. That's what I said.
I like chocolate. Why don't I have any?
At Melissa on the note.
What is my problem? I should have gotten that.
All right, guys. Y'all can have that picture. Happy Valentine's Day from me and mine. All right. Go ahead, the black.
My story gonna be quick because, okay, I went downtown the other day to do some business and pay some bills, and the SA's been protesting lately, and it was like this little dark skinned dude. I don't know where he was from. I don't think he was from Mexico, but he sounded Latino. But I was coming out the building downtown, and he asked me, "My friend, why don't you stand with me?" He said, "They kicked me out of the country. Who will gonna be?" I was laughing. I was dying laughing. Like it made me think of this room because of the title that you had.
He said they kicked him out of the country, or they're going to kick him out?
No, he said they trying to kick me out of the country.
What happened? Why isn't he out?
I guess he feel like they gonna kick him out.
He's paranoid.
They been down
protesting and shit.
Right.
That's what I've been trying to figure out.
You can't call him now. It's too busy. See, you got all the people in America calling at the same time.
Shit, I would have did my what we do. They would have held his ass down to the cops came.
You're gonna have to have regional
American
officers.
citizens arrest.
But look, it.
Oh, you want to
the title
you
was
want to
perfect
get
for this room.
deputized, huh? You want to be a lawman.
They probably do need to deputize me because I know where all of them at. But
you better do your
the title of this
duty,
room
brother.
is perfect for what he said at the end. Cause he said, "I'm working hard to send money back to my country," and I'm like, "Damn,
what?
That's how y'all doing it?"
Damn, right in our face.
So I'm like, y'all had need to go back home then, shit. And I walked out. He was like, "Man, my friend, help me." I'm like,
We don't even know these people. What are they? Why are they so chummy all of a sudden?
I don't know, but I don't really just mess with some folks, so it was just hilarious.
Okay, we gotta let the professor go, or else I'm never going to get a great grandchild.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna put my order in for one. All right, y'all.
Player, talk your talk, player.
Yes, sir. I gotta be in the bed in a second. So I really appreciate y'all. Learned a lot. Are remittances an-American? Hell yeah. Is immigration non-conventional? Yes. According to I want to call him doctor so bad. Where my light at? According to Robert Greene, I'm gonna have to bookmark on Rule 27. Robert Greene says, stand by 1 minute while I look at the page. I lost the page number. In Rule 27 of the Art of War 355, Robert Greene says the following. He says that, flipping through pages. Dang it. Hold on 1 second. Okay. He says that in the alliance strategy, people seem to work for the interests of others while furthering their own interests. And I found something very interesting for those of you just coming in, where he made an analogy of immigrants to bicycle races. Robert Greene says the following: it's a common strategy in bicycle races not to go out front, but to stay right behind the leader, a position that cuts down wind resistance. The leader faces the wind and you save energy. At the last minute, you sprint ahead. That's what's going on with the warfare tactic of immigration. Some immigrant groups come over here and let us take the brunt. They let us take the wind. And when we're tired, beat down, and about fall dead, they jump in front of us. And to add insult to injury, they laugh at us once they get ahead. Robert Greene says, letting other people cut wind resistance for you and waste their energy on your behalf is the height of economy and strategy. One of the best stratagems in the alliance game is to begin by seeming to help another person in some cause or fight, only for the purpose of furthering your own interests in the end. FBAs, let's stick together and fight for our own interests and be real careful of who we let in our circles. Remember, we need to look for strategic alliances. Let's stop all this caping bullshit. It don't mean nothing. Let's make alliances that are strategic. Just like we were talking to the gentleman in the space today. He seemed to have interests that match our interests. Maybe we can do a little business together as Americans. But the moment our interests don't align, hey, back to the drawing board. I love you all. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope y'all snuggle up tonight, because I am. See y'all later.
Good night, Professor. Good night, Wani.
Last words, Wani.
All right, bye. Love y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Love y'all too. Nikki.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you, Professor, as always.
Yes, sir.